You know what? This recipe has been around at House of Q for a little while, but recently we took this one to a pool party and it was a huge hit.
This is cranked up meatloaf made into meatballs. So the ingredients for this recipe start off with some ground meat, pork, beef, or a mix, whichever you prefer, some shredded cheese, corn tortilla chips just like this, some salsa, bacon, and
Backyard classic and our house rub.
Corinne, you ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, so in that bowl, let's get the meat in there. And you're gonna put about a tablespoon and a half, well, it's a tablespoon per pound, so put some rub in with the meat. We'll have a cup and a half or so of some shredded cheese. We'll get the salsa, about half this can of salsa. This is the tricky part. In this bowl are the tortilla chips, and yeah, have a chip, but what you want to do is crush up all of the chips into like really fine pieces. And these ones will be fantastic. They're nicely seasoned. It'll be great in the meatloaf. So I'll crush these up, but you can start mixing up the meatloaf and mixing all those ingredients. Corinne, that looks great. The chips are all broken up now. I'll put all of this into the meatloaf and mix that all together and make sure it has all mixed in and great flavor. If you're finding this really dry, you can even add an egg if you want to, but this is looking pretty good to me.
Brian, do you remember way back when we were first living together?
Yes.
This was one of the very first meals I ever made for you.
Yes, it was. That's nicely mixed together. And what you want to do is take out, to form it into a meatball, is a portion and start to press that really nicely and tight together. And it's a little bit more larger than a golf ball, but definitely smaller than a tennis ball. But I guess that all depends on what size of a meatball you want. This is a half a strip of bacon, a nice thin bacon, and wrap that all the way around the meatball. Make sure it overlaps, and grab a skewer and go right through the two end pieces of the bacon onto a skewer. We're gonna keep wrapping up the meatballs. That's gonna be how we're gonna change up this meatloaf recipe. So we made all the meatballs here and they look fantastic, but we're gonna give them one more sprinkle of rub on both sides of the meatballs and just give them some great flavor on there. We'll do one side, turn them over, and sprinkle on the other side.
Make sure when you're putting them on the skewer that you don't ram them together too tight. You want a little bit of breathing room in between.
These are ready to go on the grill. Now, it's nice and hot on this side, and we're gonna cook indirectly. So we're gonna place the meatballs kind of off on the heat on the indirect side, just over on this side. And we'll close the lid here once I get these on, and we'll monitor these ones to make sure the bacon is cooking the way that we want them to. Our meatloaf meatballs have been cooking for, I think it's about 20-25 minutes, and we've checked with the thermometer. They're about 145 degrees or so, and that's the perfect time to get some glaze nicely warmed up here and brushed on the outside. We're gonna glaze with the Backyard Classic barbecue sauce. It's tangy, it's got some great character, it's really mild overall, and it's gonna be perfect with the meatloaf meatballs. I like preheating the sauce rather than taking it cold out of the jar. It helps apply nice and evenly all over whatever I'm glazing, and it eliminates all those brush strokes. We've checked all the temperature and they're easily 160 degrees. 170 is ideal on these, and they're ready to come off and for us to have a bite to eat.
Ready for the party, Brian.
Look at these, Corey. This recipe, available on the website. This is our cranked up meatloaf.
No, it's a cranked up meatball.
Perfect. Here we go. That's good.
Very good.
Recipes on the website at houseofq.com for the cranked up meatloaf, meatball, and go grill like a champion.